This type of pain.
Family and friends united by pain, gathering to grieve the loss of 20-year-old Kania Brunson.
It's terrible that we have to do this. I would have never thought that I would be burying my daughter before she buries me.
Brunson's parents say she could light up a room with her smile. She loved helping others. Her father tells me she just signed up for CNA classes.
She wanted everybody to stay close and wanted a lot of things out of life. She was going for it.
Dreams cut short. Police say Brunson, the victim of a homicide. Police say they found her body near North Palmer. Her father tells me her abandoned car was found about a mile away from here. Here, where police made the discovery. A week later, all that remains flowers left by a stranger.
In the dead of night on September 24th, 2022, a call pierced through Milwaukee's emergency dispatch. The caller's voice trembled as they described a scene that would haunt them forever. He's on top of her. I can hear her screaming for help. Then came the victim's last words, crystal clear through the darkness. He cut my throat. The woman fighting for her life was 20-year-old Kania Brunson, a vibrant beauty school student with dreams of finishing her studies, perhaps opening her own salon, or falling in love with someone who truly deserved her. Instead, her life was violently cut short that night. This wasn't a random act of violence. It was calculated, personal, and all because she dared to tell the truth. Minutes later, police would find Kania's body in an alley near Keefe Avenue. She had been tied up, shot, and set ablaze all at the hands of 53-year-old Sultan Sheriff, a married man who had been involved with Kania for years. His motive? She had contacted his wife about their affair. Before we continue the story, I need you to pause for a moment. What you're about to hear isn't just another true crime case. It's a crucial warning about relationship dynamics and the devastating consequences of domestic violence. If you've ever been in a similar situation or know someone who has, share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience could help someone else recognize the warning signs. In this video, we'll walk through every shocking detail of this case. The secret relationship between a teenage girl and a man old enough to be her father, the moment Kane decided to come clean to his wife, and the terrifying days that followed her confession. You'll hear from the witnesses who tried to save her life, the family who fought tirelessly for justice, and the investigators who brought her killer to face the consequences of his actions. This story contains details that may be difficult to hear, but they're important to understand. If you believe in spreading awareness about domestic violence and helping others recognize dangerous situations, hit that like button and share this video. Your simple act could save someone's life. And if you're new here, join our true crime community by subscribing. We dig deep into cases like Kane's to expose the truth and honor the victim's memories. Hit that notification bell to ensure you never miss an episode. Now, let's go back to where it all began before the affair, before the confession, before that fatal September night, and meet the young woman whose life was worth so much more than being someone's secret. At just 20 years old, Brunson radiated warmth that drew people in. Friends described her smile as infectious, not the polite kind you give strangers, but the genuine kind that made others want to smile back. She'd spend hours dreaming about her future. Initially setting her sights on orthodontics, she wanted to help people feel confident about their smiles. Her mother, Jennifer Meadows, would later share, Kania carried a notebook filled with career goals and inspiration, jotting down ideas late into the night. She believed in planning big and working hard, traits that made her stand out among her peers. In their last conversation, Jennifer remembers Kania talking about opening her own practice one day, her eyes lighting up as she described the kind of care she wanted to provide. But life has a way of revealing different paths. During a friend's wedding preparation, Kania discovered her natural talent for beauty enhancement. As she helped with makeup and hair, something clicked. She watched how people's faces lit up when they looked in the mirror, how their confidence grew with each finishing touch. This revelation led her to pivot her dreams toward cosmetology. She enrolled in beauty school, throwing herself into learning every aspect of the craft. Her instructors noted her exceptional attention to detail and creative flair. She practiced for hours, perfecting techniques and developing her own style. The switch from orthodontics to beauty school wasn't just a career change, it was Kane finding her true calling. The bond between Kane and her parents defined her life. Her father, Kania Brunson, taught her the value of independence and hard work. He'd often say, "Build your own dream. Baby girl, don't live someone else's." Her mother, Jennifer, was her confidant and biggest cheerleader, the person she'd call multiple times a day to share everything from major achievements to minor frustrations. They weren't just parent and child, they were best friends. The family unit was tight-knit, sharing Sunday dinners where they'd talk for hours about their weeks, their dreams, and their challenges. Kania's younger siblings looked up to her as their role model, often seeking her advice on everything from school to relationships. Looking at Kania's life, many viewers might see reflections of themselves or someone they love. She was the friend who dropped everything to help others, the daughter who still called home every day, the sister who never missed a family celebration. She documented her journey on social media, sharing both triumphs and setbacks with refreshing honesty. Her last Instagram post showed her celebrating a friend's birthday, captioned with words about cherishing every moment. She was relatable because she was real, a young woman navigating life's complexities while trying to build her future. She made mistakes, learned from them, and kept pushing forward. In many ways, Kania represented the universal hope of youth, the belief that with enough determination, any dream is possible. No one knows exactly how Kania first crossed paths with 53-year-old Sultan Sharif. Their paths intersected when she was still a teenager at an age when most young women are focused on prom and college applications. According to friends, Sharif presented himself as a successful businessman, someone who could open doors to opportunities. He approached her with compliments and promises, carefully crafting an image of sophistication and stability. Those who knew Kania noticed how she'd light up when her phone buzzed with his messages, believing she'd found someone who understood her ambitions. But she didn't know then that Sharif had an extensive criminal history dating back to the late 1980s, including multiple convictions. He kept this part of his life hidden, showing her only what he wanted her to see. The 33-year age difference between Kania and Sharif created a stark power imbalance from the start. He leveraged his life experience and financial stability to establish control in their relationship. Friends noticed how Sharif would subtly direct Kania's decisions from small choices about where to eat to larger ones about her future plans. He'd often emphasize his wisdom and life knowledge, using these as tools to shape her perspectives. The age gap also isolated Kane from her peer group. While her friends were discussing college plans and entry-level jobs, she was dealing with adult relationship dynamics she wasn't equipped to navigate. Sharif's marriage added another layer of complexity, forcing Kane into a position where secrecy became normal and isolation became routine. As the relationship deepened, Sharif's true character began to surface. He was married, a fact he initially concealed from Kania. When she discovered this truth, he spun elaborate tales about his unhappy marriage, promising to leave his wife when the time was right. The affair became a web of secrets and lies. Sharif would schedule meetings around his family's routine, creating a shadow life where Kania existed only in carefully carved-out moments. He demanded discretion, insisting their relationship stay hidden, yet he also made Kania feel chosen, special. The emotional manipulation kept her bound to him despite the reality. Their meetings became more frequent, their connection more intense, all while his wife remained unaware. The warning signs emerged gradually but distinctly. Sharif's behavior shifted from attentive to controlling. He began monitoring Kania's social media activity, questioning her about male friends or colleagues. When she couldn't answer his calls immediately, he'd leave increasingly aggressive voicemails. He started showing up unannounced at her workplace and home, always with plausible excuses but clear undertones of surveillance. Friends noticed changes in Kane's behavior. She became more withdrawn, checked her phone constantly, and made excuses to cancel plans at the last minute. When confronted, she dismissed their concerns with practiced responses. "He's just protective," or "You don't understand our connection." A week before her death, she confided in a close friend about feeling trapped. saying, "I don't know how to end this without everything falling apart." If you're watching this and recognizing similar patterns in your own life or someone you know, pause this video and take action. Below, I've linked domestic violence resources in the description. These organizations provide confidential support and guidance. Hit the like button to help this video reach others who might need this information, and share it with anyone you think needs to hear this message. Your action could save a life. Now, let's continue with what happened in the week leading up to that fatal September night. In mid-September 2022, Kane reached a breaking point after discovering messages suggesting Sharif was pursuing other young women. She made the fateful decision to contact his wife. This wasn't an impulsive act. Kane spent days drafting and redrafting the message, struggling with the weight of her choice. She confided in her best friend, saying, "I can't keep living with this guilt." When she finally hit send, she texted her mother, "I did something that needed to be done. I hope I made the right choice." The message she finally sent was direct but respectful, detailing the length of the relationship and apologizing for her role in it. According to phone records, she sent it on a Tuesday evening. Within hours, Sharif's carefully constructed double life began falling apart. His wife's response was immediate, a series of messages demanding details, dates, and proof. Sharif's reaction revealed his true character. Rather than facing the consequences of his actions, he attempted to control the narrative by contacting Jennifer Meadows, Kane's mother. His message was calculated. "I want to be done messing with your daughter, but she's reaching out to my wife." This attempt to paint Kane as the aggressor showed his manipulative nature. Jennifer, alarmed by the tone of his message, immediately called Kane. During their conversation, Kane revealed more details about Sharif's increasingly erratic behavior. Jennifer would later tell investigators that she begged her daughter to cut all contact with him, sensing the dangerous turn the situation had taken. Over the next few days, Sharif's behavior escalated dramatically. Security footage from Kana's apartment complex showed his car circling the block at odd hours. He began calling from different numbers when she blocked his main line. Coworkers reported seeing him parked outside the salon, watching. Each day brought new attempts at contact, alternating between pleading messages and veiled threats. On Wednesday, he left flowers at her door. By Thursday, he was sending messages about making things right. Friday brought a string of missed calls from unknown numbers. The pressure was mounting, but few could have predicted the violence to come. The final 3 days before September 24th were filled with ominous indicators. Sharif withdrew a significant amount of cash from his bank account. He was captured on gas station surveillance buying gasoline in a portable container. Phone records showed he searched online for information about police response times in different Milwaukee neighborhoods. A witness later reported overhearing him in a heated phone conversation, saying, "This ends now." Kane herself seemed to sense the gathering storm. She told her friend she was considering filing a restraining order. Her last text to her mother read, "If anything happens to me, you know who did it." These weren't just warning signs anymore, they were the prelude to tragedy. September 24th, 2022 began like any other Saturday. Security cameras captured Kana leaving her apartment at 7:30 p.m., responding to what she thought would be a final conversation with Sharif to end things completely. At 8:15 p.m., traffic cameras spotted Sharif's vehicle entering the area near Keefe Avenue. A gas station security footage showed them pulling into its parking lot at 8:23 p.m., where they appear to be talking. By 8:45 p.m., they had moved to a secluded alley. Multiple witnesses reported hearing raised voices. At 9:12 p.m., the first emergency call came in. By 9:30 p.m., first responders were on the scene. The medical examiner later determined that the entire attack lasted less than 20 minutes. The key witness, a friend of Sharif, who happened to be in the area, provided crucial testimony. They described seeing Sharif's car parked at an odd angle in the alley and approaching to check if everything was okay. That's when they heard Kana's desperate pleas for help. The witness immediately called 911, staying on the line while maintaining visual contact with the vehicle. Their account was precise. She was screaming, "Help me." Then I heard her say, "He cut my throat." The witness also observed Sharif making multiple trips to his trunk, retrieving items that would later prove significant to the investigation. Despite their own fear, they remained nearby, providing emergency dispatchers with critical real-time information until police arrived. The evidence revealed the methodical nature of the attack. Investigators found that Sharif had bound Kania's wrists with wire he brought with him. The medical examiner's report indicated she had been shot at close range in an attempt to destroy evidence. He had doused her body with gasoline from the container he purchased days earlier. Security footage from nearby buildings captured Sharif making a call immediately after the attack. Phone records would later show this call was to his brother-in-law, Johnny Hopgood, who arrived minutes later to assist in the attempted cover-up. The degree of preparation suggested this wasn't a crime of passion, but a premeditated act. Milwaukee police arrived to find a scene that demanded immediate action. Officers spotted the fire from 3 blocks away and called for emergency medical services while en route. They found Sharif still at the scene, attempting to flee in his vehicle. 2 officers managed to block his escape route with their patrol cars, while others worked to extinguish the fire and preserve potential evidence. The responding officers' body cameras captured Sharif's demeanor, described in reports as eerily calm. Their quick response and containment of the scene proved crucial, allowing crime scene technicians to recover vital evidence that might otherwise have been lost, including the murder weapon hidden in Sharif's vehicle and physical evidence that would later prove essential at trial. The investigation moved swiftly as detectives pieced together physical and digital evidence. Crime scene technicians recovered the wire used to bind Kania, the gas container, and shell casings that matched a weapon registered to Sharif. Digital forensics revealed a trail of text messages and call logs between Sharif and Kania in the days leading up to the murder. Surveillance footage from multiple locations helped establish a clear timeline. Detectives also obtained Sharif's internet search history, revealing queries about cleaning bloodstains and destroying DNA evidence. His credit card records showed calculated purchases wired from a hardware store, the gas container, and a prepaid phone. Each piece of evidence pointed to premeditation, dismantling any possibility of claiming a crime of passion. When initially questioned, Sharif's wife provided him with what seemed like an airtight alibi, claiming he was home with her watching television during the time of the murder. However, this alibi quickly crumbled under scrutiny. Cell phone tower data placed Sharif's phone in the vicinity of the crime scene, directly contradicting his wife's statement. Security footage from their neighborhood showed his car leaving their home at 7 p.m. and returning after midnight. When confronted with this evidence, Sharif's wife admitted to lying, revealing that he had called her after the murder, instructing her on exactly what to tell investigators. This admission proved crucial, as it demonstrated Sharif's attempts to manipulate the investigation from the start. Johnny Hopgood's involvement emerged through phone records showing multiple calls with Sharif immediately after the murder. As Sharif's brother-in-law, Hopgood initially claimed he was merely responding to a family emergency. However, security footage showed him arriving at the scene with additional gasoline and helping to destroy evidence. Investigators discovered text messages between the 2 men discussing plans to clean up a mess. When questioned separately, their stories contained significant discrepancies. Hopgood eventually broke under interrogation, admitting his role in attempting to destroy evidence. His confession provided investigators with crucial details about the aftermath of the murder and Sharif's state of mind during the crime. Prosecutors constructed a methodical case against both men. They established Sharif's motive through the text messages to Kania's mother about the affair revelation. The murder weapon found in Sharif's vehicle contained both his fingerprints and Kania's DNA. Cell phone data created a precise timeline of events. The witness's 911 call provided real-time documentation of the crime. Investigators also uncovered financial records showing Sharif had withdrawn large sums of cash and made suspicious purchases in the days before the murder. The prosecution built a timeline demonstrating how each piece of evidence supported their theory of premeditated murder. By the time they presented their case to the grand jury, They had accumulated over 300 pieces of evidence and statements from 27 witnesses. The trial began in January 2024, with Milwaukee County prosecutors presenting a meticulous case against Sultan Sharif. Throughout the proceedings, he maintained his innocence, offering conflicting accounts of that September night. His defense team attempted to shift blame to an unnamed third party, but surveillance footage and DNA evidence dismantled their alternative theories. The prosecution's case proved overwhelming, presenting text messages, financial records, and a witness's haunting 911 call. Key testimony came from the gas station attendant who sold Sharif the gasoline container days before the murder. Sharif's wife's admission of providing a false alibi further strengthened the state's case. The jury appeared visibly moved by the methodical presentation of evidence, showing the calculated nature of the crime. After 8 days of testimony, they took just 4 hours to return with their verdict, guilty on all counts. The victim impact statements delivered by Kania's family revealed the devastating ripple effects of her murder. Her mother, Jennifer Meadows, approached the podium clutching Kania's beauty school graduation photo. "You didn't just kill my daughter," she addressed Sharif directly. "You killed our future, our family dinners, the grandchildren I'll never hold." Her voice remained steady as she described the daily trauma of waking up to the reality of her daughter's absence. Kania's father, Kania Brunson, spoke about the dreams they'd shared for her future. She was going to own her own salon. We had already picked out locations. He described how he still finds himself driving by beauty schools, forgetting for a moment that she's gone. Kania's younger siblings shared letters they'd written to their sister, detailing how her absence had created a void in their lives. Each statement painted a portrait of a family forever altered by a single act of violence. On February 15, 2024, Judge David Swanson delivered his sentence. He addressed Sharif's lack of remorse and the calculated nature of his actions. "This court has seen many tragic cases," Swanson stated, "but the level of premeditation here is particularly chilling." He noted the multiple opportunities Sharif had to step back from his plans, emphasizing how each step toward murder was a conscious choice. The judge referenced Sharif's previous criminal history, including incidents of domestic violence spanning 3 decades. Before pronouncing sentence, he acknowledged Kania's family. "No punishment can restore what was taken from you." He then sentenced Sharif to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Johnny Hopgood received 15 years for his role in attempting to destroy evidence. The judge also ordered both men to pay restitution to Kania's family for funeral expenses and counseling costs. The Milwaukee community's response to Kania's murder sparked several initiatives addressing domestic violence and age gap relationships. Local beauty schools established the Kania Brunson Scholarship Fund, providing education opportunities for aspiring cosmetologists. Domestic violence organizations began incorporating Kania's story into their awareness programs, highlighting the dangers of controlling relationships and the importance of supporting those who come forward with information. The Milwaukee Police Department enhanced their training protocols for responding to domestic violence calls, particularly those involving significant age differences between partners. Community leaders organized support groups for families affected by similar tragedies. Local salons joined together to create a safety network, implementing protocols for stylists who might be experiencing threatening relationships. The case also prompted discussions in local schools about healthy relationships and recognizing manipulation tactics. A mural dedicated to Kania's memory now stands near her former beauty school, serving as both a tribute and a reminder of the importance of speaking up against abuse. The murder of Kania Brunson exposed several critical warning signs that everyone should recognize. 1. The significant age gap, combined with promises of career advancement, a tactic often used by manipulative partners to create dependency. 2. The pattern of isolation where Sharif gradually monitored her movements and questioned her relationships with friends. 3. The escalating controlling behavior from constant calls to unexpected appearances at her workplace. 4. The use of expensive gifts to create obligation and dependency. Mental health professionals studying this case identified key moments where intervention might have helped. When Sharif began monitoring Kane's social media, when he started showing up unannounced, and particularly in the week before her murder, when his behavior became increasingly erratic. The case highlighted how crucial it is to recognize these patterns not just in our own lives, but in the lives of those around us. Experts now emphasize that the most dangerous time in an abusive relationship is often when the victim attempts to leave or expose the truth. Kania Brunson's story needs to be shared. Her life mattered, and through her story, we can help others recognize dangerous situations before they become deadly. If you know someone in a controlling relationship, reach out. If you see these warning signs in your own life, seek help. There are resources and people ready to support you. This video is part of our ongoing commitment to raising awareness about domestic violence and relationship abuse. If this story has impacted you, please take 3 simple actions. 1. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover important cases like Kane's regularly, sharing crucial information that could save lives. 2. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps our content reach more people who might need to hear these warnings. 3. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you noticed any of these warning signs in relationships around you? Your perspective could help someone else recognize a dangerous situation. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, because somewhere right now, someone is facing a similar situation. Your share could be the wake-up call they need. Remember, speaking up isn't just about awareness, it's about survival.